In the world of law, some lawyers win cases, but only a rare few make their opponents fear them. And in Singapore, hardly any name sends shivers down spines like Davinder Singh's. Feared, respected, unrelenting, and even hiring him is newsworthy. What makes him one of the most formidable lawyers in Singapore's history? Let's break down the secrets behind his legendary courtroom dominance, and more importantly, what everyone can learn from it. Davinder struggled when he started his career.
I ended up completely without options. And as luck would have it, I spoke to one of my lecturers, a banking lecturer, and I told her about my predicament. She picked up the phone to Drew and AP and said, okay, this boy is looking for a job. And so Harry gave me a job. So I walked in to Drew and AP at Clifford Center in Singapore in May 1983. That one day changed my entire life. And then I see this chap called Joe Grimberg walk by. He was a giant. He was the supreme advocate, and everyone in Singapore who was anyone would go to him when they had an issue in court. And he was also Mr. Lee Kuan Yew's lawyer. And he became my pupil master for administrative reasons. Someone just put my name under him as pupil master, and I started working with him.
Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Luck is something you can generate, especially by building relationships and talking to people. And when luck strikes, be ready to grab it.
From someone who had no interest in the law and who just sort of got by year after year, to then have this golden opportunity to meet this man who immediately, it was almost magical, immediately inspired me just by the way he talked, by the way he carried himself, by the way he thought through issues. It was transformational.
Inspiration is contagious. Surrounding yourself with the right people can shift your entire mindset. It's like a plant in sunlight. Want to level up? Look for people who push you to be better. They don't have to be better than you, they just have to push you to be a better version of yourself.
He would only get the most complex and challenging of cases. For some reason, I wanted very, very, very much that when he saw my work, he would be completely and utterly impressed.
That's the mindset of a winner. Treat your work like a craft, something you want to master. A good mentor inspires you to work hard instead of doing the bare minimum. With a good mentor, it's easier to think less about money and more about doing a good job. And if you don't have a mentor, have a role model whose work you can see publicly.
When you sit in meetings with the clients, you just watch how he analyzes, how he breaks issues down, how he advises. There's this process of osmosis that's taking place and you don't even know it. It's sort of just seeping into you.
He's proving Lee Kuan Yew's point.
No input is as vivid, as long-lasting as his own experience.
Your environment shapes you. If you want to be good at something, get close to people who are already great at it. Pay attention, absorb, and let their way of thinking become second nature to you. An important part of a court case is cross-examination, where lawyers question witnesses from the other side. How does Singh prepare for this?
You read the documents. So, having done that, what I do is I ask myself, what are the main points I would like to make to the judge after the cross examination in submissions? And I tell myself that that's the second opportunity to do that. The first opportunity to have a conversation with the judge is cross examination. So, in my view of things, cross examination is not about you and the witness. Cross examination is a dialogue between you and the judge, where by your questions, you are actually trying to persuade the court to your point of view, right? The judge listens, And that's part of the ongoing conversation, silent conversation that you're having with the judge. And so when I prepare my notes, I ask myself first, what are the points I want to communicate to the court in cross examination, using the witness as my medium? And second, where the witness refuses to be my medium, what questions should I ask, which, because of the nature of the questions, is sufficient to pass the message about the point I want to make?
Success isn't just doing the task in front of you. It's about understanding its deeper purpose. If you're selling something, don't focus on how great your product is. Focus on how your product solves your customer's problem. If you're negotiating, don't focus on defeating the other side. Focus on aligning interests so that both sides feel they've won. Cross-examination is not a battle with the witness, it's a conversation with the judge. And even Singh's interviewer was impressed by Singh's view.
Can I just say that's fascinating? We've interviewed a number of people and no one has quite described it that way, having that silent communication with the judge, and that is absolutely fascinating. So I guess what that means is you've got to sort of just be able to grasp that moment as opposed to flog a witness to death.
And Davinder Singh leaves no stone unturned.
So having got those broad points, I then ask myself whether those broad points cover all the issues in the case.
Why is this important? Because you don't know which issue the judge is most interested in hearing.
There are many times where seconds before I stand up, I still do not know what my first question is going to be. You just don't know what the judge is interested in, and he might say something which might make you change the way you're going to start your cross-examination. I always have a team on a file. And when I'm preparing, I'm sending emails to them, I'm having calls with them, I'm calling them into my room, asking them not just about the facts or the law, also, if I say this, how do you think this particular judge is going to react? What is his background in terms of issues of this nature? And so the seniors can help you there more than the juniors because they don't have the same kind of experience with the judges.
An effective marketer doesn't blast the same message everywhere. They study their audience to understand what resonates best. Whatever job you do, think of yourself as a DJ at a party. Don't play your favorite songs. Watch the crowd, see what gets them moving, and keep them engaged. And when it comes to reading the room, Davinder might just be one of Singapore's best DJs. Except his crowd is full of judges, not party goers. But like any great DJ, he had to learn the hard way.
I did one of my first few cases before a judge who was well known for his temper. And because I was acting for the big boys against a small chap, and the judge was known to be very pro small man, I had hell. That wounded me a great deal, and I smarted from it for a number of years after that. It taught me lifelong lessons.
Focusing on your own perspective can backfire. As Singh learned, the key to success lies staying open to other viewpoints and challenging your own assumptions.
The one thing about being a trial lawyer is, as you well know, is the more you get involved in a case, the more partisan you become. You start believing in the strength of your points. And that can be a trap because then you become blindsided by points that you are not seeing. And that's why you need honest juniors. I get my juniors on the file to tell me what troubles them about this case. There is no substitute for sitting with your juniors and talking through the case. Not only do they know the facts better than you do, but you want just a fresh perspective. Very few people can understand it from all perspectives.
Smart people don't just seek evidence that supports their case. They actively look for what might be wrong with it. And Davinder Singh understands this better than most. This isn't just good legal strategy. It's a mindset we should all adopt. Whether you're a lawyer, a policymaker, or just making a big decision, don't only look for confirmation. Seek out the toughest questions. Listen to the critics. The real test of a strong argument isn't how well it stands when unchallenged, but how well it holds up when put under fire. But here's the thing, most of us don't naturally think this way. We instinctively look for evidence that supports what we already believe, instead of testing whether we might be wrong. And this bias isn't just limited to high-stakes legal battles. It happens to all of us, even with something as simple as a number pattern. Take a look at this.
I'm going to give you guys three numbers, a three-number sequence, and I have a rule in mind that these three numbers obey. And I want you to try to figure out what that rule is. But the way that you can get information is by proposing your own set of three numbers, to which I will say, yes, that follows my rule, or no, it doesn't follow my rule, and then you can propose what you think the rule is. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so here are the three numbers. 2, 4, 8.
3, 6, 12.
3, 6, 12 follows my rule.
10, 20, 40.
That follows the rule. What's the rule? What are you thinking?
Multiply by 2.
That is not my rule.
Yeah, I'm still multiplying by 2.
I know.
Ah.
I know what you're doing. And yes, it follows my rule, but no, it's not my rule.
5, 10,
10 and 20.
Follows my rule.
100,
200, 400.
Follows my rule.
500, 1,000, 2,000.
Follows my rule.
Want me to keep going?
But do I just keep going? You're going to tell me your rule?
10,
I don't
9,
know how
8
to do this.
Does not follow the rule.
10, 9, 8 does not.
Oh, so is it all in ascending order?
Booyah.
Okay.
Up top. Yes, first
that
ones
what it
to
is?
get it. You guys nailed it. I was looking for you guys to propose a set of numbers that didn't follow your rule
All right.
and
And then
didn't
they're
follow
good.
my rule. I was looking for you guys not to try to confirm what you believe.
At first, the audience only looked for evidence that confirmed their belief. They kept testing numbers that fit their assumption, instead of trying to prove themselves wrong. And that's the same mistake that Davinder avoids. He doesn't just look for reasons he's right. He looks for reasons he might be wrong. So the next time you're convinced of something, try flipping the question. Instead of asking, what proves I'm right? Ask, what might prove me wrong? Because the best way to be right is to be willing to be wrong. Many people don't do this. And that's why if you build good habits like this, you're on your way to becoming the best in your country. Success in your career is like sharpening a sword. The more you hone your skills, the sharper your edge becomes, allowing you to cut through obstacles with precision. Like Davinder Singh, those who master the art of learning from every experience, surrounding themselves with great minds, and embracing feedback are the ones who emerge victorious no matter the field.